We're here with Rhonda Magee, professor of law at the University of San Francisco and a leading presenter of mindfulness for lawyers. Rhonda's recent work is with Color Insight, groundbreaking work on how mindfulness can address the problems of law, race, and bias. Thanks for joining us, Rhonda. Tell us a little bit about what you're up to.
Thank you very much, Jim. It's great to talk with you this morning. So your intro captured it. I've been working for years, actually, on ways of bringing mindfulness really more directly to bear on some of our most pressing law and justice issues. And so I've certainly been teaching law students and working with lawyers to support them in developing a mindfulness practice for many years. And I'm very excited again to be teaching my contemplative lawyering class, my group of law students at the University of San Francisco School of Law, again, starting in January. So that's part of my kind of ongoing work. And I've also been very interested in bringing together my scholarship and work around race and social justice with the work I've been doing around a mindful approach to law and lawyering, as well as conflict management, I would say more broadly, and the desire for social justice in the world. So that actually, just sort of bringing those fields together. I'm more of I call myself or think of myself as more of a teacher than a researcher, but I've been a qualitative researcher over the years. And so what I've been working on more these last few months is really examining more carefully and methodically how mindfulness practices actually have been brought to bear to address issues around social inequality, social injustice, specifically how the practices help facilitate turning toward the suffering that results from those kinds of dynamics that are in every society, in every community, in every workplace, in every school, and in each of our lives in some way or another. And so, for me, it's been about deepening my own practice, first and foremost. Really developing in myself more of an understanding of the rich heritage and underpinnings of what we call mindfulness, Western mindfulness. And from that place of study and deeper practice, working to develop my own capacities to make some contributions in this area. So, I've just been studying, practicing, and doing some teaching, all with the hope of helping bringing mindfulness to bear more directly off the cushion, as we say, into communities that are suffering, into workplaces that could be more effective, where groups from different backgrounds could be working together more effectively. And ultimately, my hope is that we bring more peace and justice to this world in need of those.
Well, that's very important work and very inspiring that you connect it to your personal practice. Looking to 2016, tell us a little bit about what's emerging for you in the work that you're doing.
Well, I do. The connections between my own practice and the work are actually going to continue to be highlighted for me. So I will be, obviously doing my own retreats and taking time for my own practice as I go, daily practice as I go, and really examining the way in which I, in my own life, am able to bring these insights that have been arising in the more than 15 years that I've been looking at questions of race, injustice, inequality, and how to teach more effectively around those issues, about those issues, how to support communities, learning communities comprised of diverse individuals, how to support those communities in coming together, building some trust, and working more effectively together. I will be working with a number of other people around the country who have been beginning to explore more deeply how mindfulness can be brought to bear specifically on problems in policing and police community interactions and relations. The bringing of mindfulness practices into deeper engagement with community and in support of helping our communities that are in distress move more consistently into ways of thriving, I would say, ways of improving their abilities to kind of respond and work with traumatic incidents that happen in their midst. And so using the work with communities and the work with police and law enforcement to really try and bring a new sense of hope and a new sense of capacity. And finally, ultimately, I hope to help facilitate repairing relationships upon which trust can be built and rebuilt over time. So certainly some of the work that I'll be doing this year with a new organization that's forming with Charlie Halpern and others in association with Fleet Mall, where we will be looking at mindfulness, law, and criminal justice over time, and really trying to explore collaborations across the country in Louisville, Kentucky, in San Jose, in San Francisco, California, in various places where we have some capacity, some connections between law enforcement and some of us who are teaching and studying mindfulness, and really just exploring next level steps of integrating mindfulness into some of the work that we think might be beneficial in those areas as well.
That's great. Great to hear. On behalf of all of us, thank you very much. And lastly, do you have any things that you'd recommend for Mindful to do to help support your work in 2016 and the work of the mindfulness field altogether?
Well, thank you so much, because we can all use a little support. And actually, I want to say that I think the work that Mindful has been doing since launching has really been supportive of me and others in the field already. Just having this organization, Mindful, the publication, the web resources available, really has helped me in the work of kind of mainstreaming mindfulness, normalizing it as just a way of supporting effectiveness and thriving in our lives that is accessible to everybody. And so certainly I'd say keep doing what you're doing. And in ways that are appropriate, certainly continuing to highlight, as I know you have been doing, the intersections between mindfulness and social justice, mindfulness as support in dealing with these concrete problems of the sorts I've mentioned. I am actually working on a book this year, which will kind of follow up on an article that I've written on color insight. And so, yes, I think some of the kind of ways that you've been promoting and just helping people access these resources of mindfulness wherever they are and whatever their heritage or background, I think that is what would be helpful, that I would imagine being helpful not only to me, but to our broader community in 2016.
Thank you so much, Rhonda.